Hello, hello, hello. So this is funny, right? When I could have started stream 40 minutes earlier, but I actually had something to do like 20 minutes after I would have started stream, and so I decided to just delay stream by 40 minutes and then maybe do this time longer at the end. Or I don't know, depending on how I feel. And so I wrote this pinned message in chat saying that stream will be roughly 40 minutes late today. And I wanted to pin that message and I wanted to have it stay pinned for 40 minutes because that's by how long I was planning on delaying the stream. Um, yeah, but funny thing is, I cannot put a pin time of 40 minutes. It lets me do it to a maximum of 30 minutes for some reason. And so I just put it on pin until I remove it, which is now. Hey Dioli, welcome back. I just started stream because I had some things to do. Um, let's get rid of this. And yeah, I don't know why Twitch doesn't let me pin something for longer than 30 minutes, but apparently that is how it goes. So yeah, I have been getting into data packs actually, and so for a long time I was really intimidated by data packs and writing comments, not using comment blocks, but using actual like text files. And I've been trying to get into it a few days ago just to see what I could do and how far I could go with that. And yeah, I have like kind of I was always of this mindset that you don't need to use a data pack to write MC function. MC function is the language that comment blocks use, so just normal Minecraft comments. Um, what I do believe data packs are definitely necessary for is anything that you cannot do with comment blocks. So custom recipes or enchantments or loot tables is also one very big thing. And there's much more, much more. But yeah, I was always of that mindset of you don't need to write a data pack if you don't plan on writing in JSON. And just out of curiosity, I tried it out now, and I realized, okay, this could actually save a lot of resources. Like usually I repeat comment block repeats every tick, so 20 times per second. And this goes for every repeat comment block that you place. And the more you place, obviously, the more it needs to check every tick. And that means that after a while, it could actually cost some performance. Now, for data packs, there is this command called schedule. You can actually also write it in chat, but it doesn't really. It does work, but it's kind of useless in chat. And what it does, it lets you time a function. So let's just say this is my function, and now I want this function to repeat every 5 seconds. And that's literally how it goes. This will now not repeat 20 times per second, but once every 5. And this can save so much performance if you have a lot of technology going on. And yeah, I definitely want to shift a lot of my comment block stuff over to data packs now. Hey, my day has been great, Early. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? Yeah, I think he actually did join one more time, though I haven't seen them since. So, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. So they could also just be a lurker, which is totally fine. Um, but yeah, I do believe they like to view or watch into stream every now and then. Yeah. Also, sorry about last stream, which was on Saturday. I kind of didn't feel good that day and decided to end stream very early and also delete the VOD because I was not really comfortable with me that day. But as I said a few streams back, I was going to do some off-stream work, and let's just act like everything I did last stream was off-stream work because it wasn't that much. Let's turn this one off, and I will showcase what I have done off-stream. What do you mean you got toxicated? That doesn't sound good. But yeah, that's nice. The rest of it at least. Yeah, the pictures you sent me, I answered like absolutely beautiful. I will definitely take some of those as inspiration. And it's just the nature in general is and how it blends in with human structures. Absolutely beautiful. And that's totally fine. Yeah, okay, so let me showcase what I have done off stream. So I said that I kind of needed some time to think about all of the decoration in this map and to kind of get my mind together as to how I want this city to look. And first thing I did was just adding or making the railing a little bit more beautiful on on the way up to the city. As you can see, we now have some stripes going up, some arches in between, and then some cobblestone connecting it all together on both layers. Yeah, and some andesite in the background. Simple, but I think it works. Um, Next thing I did was I added a lot of greenery to these houses, which is one thing that I've already done. Like over here, we've already done that on stream. But what I added additionally is a gradient for the rooted dirt. So you see we have some rooted dirt in these roofs just for some noise. And I decided to blend this into the walls of these houses. So we go from rooted dirt to granite to terracotta, light gray terracotta. This works fine. It is a contrast to the gray, which I believe in this context is perfect. I think I have a better example. Yeah, right here. This is, yeah, you can see the, it again feels like the dirt is kind of dripping down the walls, like it's infesting them. Oh, hey, Chili. Welcome. Nice to see you. I mean, if you want to do that, then go for it. Sure. That would honestly be really interesting. Oh, wait, is that actually something that you need to worry about? I mean, you could also just add subtitles or something. That would totally be fine. Um, but that's honestly pretty wild if you actually have to worry about that. I hope not, honestly. So the next thing is I said last stream something that very much frustrated me is that I didn't really find a way to implement these nether sprouts into the area. And I did some brainstorming. I placed them everywhere, just looked at where it might look nice to have them. And then I placed them, after some trial and error, under the soul lanterns, that like the street lamps that we have placed everywhere. And I think this looks great. I enjoy this look now. Feels like the nether sprouts, which is also a very blue kind of plant, kind of grows through the soul lantern. So you could say that the souls trapped inside this lantern make these plants grow. That would be like an improvised story that you could tell about this. Yeah, but now I'm very happy with this. I also added some more. I think this I added actually on stream, but this mud pit I didn't. I did that after stream. And yeah, I think this looks nice to kind of break up the pattern a little bit of the streets, you know. And also just some short dry grass. I placed some of that every now and then, just as some extra noise. Nothing too special, but I do enjoy how it looks. And then the last thing I did off stream was I added a wall around the mountain, just as some kind of protection so that the mountain doesn't collapse like it still could, but let's just act like this is secure now. And I added this wall all around the village, the city. I keep saying village. It is a city. As you can see here, this now looks a lot more finished, I believe. Hey, yo, Chili, happy birthday to your mom, of course. That's nice to hear. I hope you had a nice day. On time. I hope you had a nice time. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. And so right before the stream today, I kind of was thinking about I want I want to maybe make this area a little bit bigger. So I talked about that this village, I keep saying village, the city needs a food source because right now they are kind of living from nothing really. They have a source of water down this well, one single source of water, and no food. And so I think I want to break off this entire mountain range right here. Well, mountain range, it's more like a wall, but you get the idea. I want to get rid of all of this and just add some extra plots to the back that are just some wheat fields and some carrot fields maybe. And yeah, I also went ahead and placed some outlines for buildings already. I just did that so I could plan a little better. And yeah, that's where we are going to start today. Let's first turn off shaders because it's lagging. And then yeah. So we obviously still have the staircase. Actually, let me do that one first so we are kind of done. Yeah, like I mean the mountain range is still, I think, not so nice looking. It's definitely one of my weaker kind of projects in this map. But it serves its purpose right, I believe. You're mostly inside the city as well, and from here you don't really see too much of the mountain range. In most cases, at least. So yeah. Okay, let's take all the blocks from this palette. We have polished andesite, stone bricks, and cobblestone, chiseled stone bricks, mossy, and oh, that's andesite, right? So if I place one stair right here, I can actually press G on my keyboard to copy the states of the block. And now I can also place the stair. It will always place the stair the same way, no matter how I look at it. And this makes it possible for me to simply paint like this. And the staircase basically makes sense. Still need to fix some things, of course, but this definitely speeds up the process a good chunk. Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah. Okay. And then what I like to do is firstly add a railing. This is going to get a little bit more depth, but for now I want to just place one piece of stone bricks in between each stair. Also down here. And then what I like to do is, as railing, I like to take stone brick stairs, or just stairs in general, and place them upside down, like this. And the way, or why I'm doing this, actually, I kind of... I'm kind of eating my words right now. This is a building tactic that I've actually kind of copied from the Hypixel build team. They do a similar style of stairs, or railings at least. And I think that it looks absolutely beautiful this way. And I kind of want to take inspiration from that. And yeah, as you can see, it goes on both sides. Then we have chiseled stone bricks every 3 blocks. And just some mossy stone walls going up from there. So let's add that as well. And again, I can just press G on my keyboard, turn on replace mode. And no matter how I look at it, the stairs will always be placed the same way. And this is just so practical. I love using this feature. Okay, and at this point, as I said, every 3 blocks will be chiseled stone bricks. So let's actually start at the top, so that the pattern is a little bit easier to copy. And that would be here, and then one at the very bottom. Though we don't really need that one, but I'm going to place it there anyways, simply because it looks nice. Okay, from here we have... Let me actually just clean this entire wall off for now. So we have the space to work with on both sides. Yeah, I'm thinking of maybe doing some kind of coding stream where I kind of transfer all of the comment blocks that we have right now over to a data pack, just to save some space over here and maybe improve performance a little bit. That would be nice. Or maybe I'll also do it off stream. It's not that interesting, but I might do it. I could tie it into a data pack tutorial if any of you need that. Yeah, definitely. I've also noticed my English has improved a lot since I started this. Which I'm very happy about. It's always good to have good English skills, I believe. I mean, as you said back then, like everyone, English is the world language, so... You would like to see that on stream? Okay, I'm going to do it on stream then. Why not? It's actually, like, writing data packs is so much easier than I originally anticipated. Like, it always was kind of intimidating to me, writing in code instead of just simple comment blocks. But really what you're doing is, you're doing the same work, it just looks a little bit different. Until you start writing JSON, that's of course a whole new programming language. Though JSON is extremely easy. I was able to pick it up and learn it in basically a day. And I have no prior coding experience except for MC Function. Though I wouldn't really call MC Function a coding language. Or maybe it is, but it's definitely probably one of the easiest, if not the easiest, coding language you could learn. Okay, now we have this, and obviously this railing extends a little bit further than... Yeah, HTML is also extremely easy. I have not learned it yet, but I definitely want to try learning that. I want to make small steps into actual programming, but I believe learning the language in general could help a lot for future projects. But yeah, HTML is definitely also one of the easiest ones. A friend of mine has told me he is actually very good at coding. And so I kind of trust what he is saying. Actually, maybe we don't even need andesite on the last block. Let's fix off this. And yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I I definitely want to get into real coding and like doing actual stuff in that. But it's always the thought of starting some or learning something as big as a full coding language that is really kind of holding me back from actually starting to learn. It's really intimidating. But I mean, yeah, it's probably easy. I already have some experience with JSON and MC functions, so of course it's different, but I believe it's a great start. I just need the time. Yeah, right. Start small and try to improve from there. That's also what most people always tell me. And I mean, it's true. I think the first thing that I would do if I were to learn a programming language is I would try to build a calculator. Honestly, that seems like an amazing first project to me. Making a calculator, you kind of learn the basics of addition, multiplication, and how to handle numbers, and maybe even user input. Yeah, definitely Python is probably the one I've heard the most about in terms of beginner friendliness. So that's definitely also up there on the languages that I consider. Okay, now we have a path upwards to the top layer. I no longer call it the upper district because I kind of opted out of this kind of district style. We have the lower district and then the middle district, and that's all. No need to build some upper class buildings. I kind of don't want to do that. Yeah, okay, so let's make some space back here. I don't think I will need all of these gradients anymore. Though this is a nice thing to have laying around. Well, actually, let me just transfer it over to this place and yeah, we can deal with that later. Or I'll just leave it there. Doesn't matter. Yeah, definitely. C# is also, I think a lot of people like to say that it's one of the best one. Like C and C# and C++ are, I think a lot of people like those one the most, or those the most. And so definitely there is some kind of longing for me to learn these, but I believe it's better to start with an actual beginner coding language. Okay, wait, I need to build a mask first. So we have gravel, cobblestone, and just normal stone. Yeah, but I'm not doing AI models, so that's nothing I need to worry about. Oh, wait, is that andesite? Oh yes, it is. When have I put andesite in these walls? No idea, honestly. But let's just get rid of it. And so, okay, I know I said this entire area is almost done. We are almost ready to move on. And now I'm here building, or expanding this area once again. But I think in this case, it is actually for a very good reason. And okay, we can fix that later. Yeah, because this entire city needs a food source, and right now they just don't have one, which is, well, obviously not great. And just for world building's sake, I want to give the city a food source. Also, let's not forget that the city provides a lot of outside villages with supplies as well, so they definitely need to have a big storage. So yeah, I cannot really get away with giving the city nothing. Oh, I wanted to take smooth. And okay, thanks Axiom. Even though I set up a mask, it still edited some of the blocks that I didn't want it to edit. But okay, I'm just going to do some rough work to make this a little bit nicer to look at, and then we can actually work on the new terrain. I leave this building open for now, so I can build an actual backside later. It's not that important right now. But yeah, I think I want to have the city be just a little bigger. Then we can have a river flowing right alongside this wall. And the river will go directly into a set of wheat fields. That is the plan, at least right now. So let's move all of this out a little bit. And yeah, also this right here. Yeah, but learning how to make data packs definitely helped me open up to the idea of learning a coding language. So I will continue doing some Minecraft projects for now, but I'm definitely getting closer to the point where I feel comfortable with the idea of actual coding. And I mean, it would benefit me a lot, because most of the things that I want to do are not really possible in Minecraft. Minecraft is helping me with a lot of my creative visions, but most of what I want to do definitely doesn't fit inside of this game. So at some point I will need to pick up a language. Okay, let's use flood fill to remove the mask. And that's perfect. Oh, never mind, not quite perfect. Now it is. Nice. Okay, let's also flatten this up a little bit. Where's my extrude? Right, oh, I have it on shrink. Yeah, don't worry, it's lagging a little bit because it is trying to render a lot of phantom blocks right now. And okay, now we have a smooth terrain. I definitely want to use this little bit of extra space that we have to expand the city a little bit, just so that it looks a little bit bigger, helps with the realism. I'm not sure about this space right here. I could also expand the city downwards and have this tower that we have right here maybe. Oh, that would actually be a nice idea. I'm making myself more work than I actually want to take, but okay, we are already here, so let's keep going. Okay, luckily I have not yet built any interior, so I don't need to worry about destroying anything inside the buildings. Okay, let's make some space. Then shrink these blocks downward, this up. And okay, we don't really have a street. I could. Okay, we have some space back here. We have some space at this point and also on this corner. Yeah, let's go with that. I could also apply a mask so that the melt doesn't melt too far down, but not that important right now. The buildings still look alright. Of course, I never built the backside, so this side is very rough right now. But that's kind of to be expected, I believe. Oh, interesting. Did I paint this with mask surface on again? That would definitely make sense. And oh yeah, I did destroy part of this building. But okay, it's just a small front wall. Nothing too crazy. Okay, I would probably say if we're already here, I could do next stream as a small coding stream. Really nothing too crazy, just porting all the comment blocks over to a data pack. And yeah, I think next stream would be a good time for that. So don't drag it out for too long. Okay, actually let's get out the yellow wool just to mark some places for now. Okay. Now I would like to... Oh, that was a little bit too far. Now I would like to make some space at the top right here so that the tower could stick out a little more. Also smooth this. And... yeah, I mean, I could use the city wall and expand it to the back side. Oh yeah, I built this tower just to see where the build height limit is. Yeah, well, I'm kind of thinking about having a road that goes around this mountain. Maybe. I don't know if it would look that great. Okay, but let's just try. I'll change the shape a little bit. And okay, I think I like the idea of expanding the city wall. That at the same time also means that I have to push the mountain range back a little bit more. We need to be careful, or I need to be careful, because I'm already seeing it right now. I am doing way more than I originally wanted to do. But this is going to be simple. It's really just expanding the city wall, adding some wheat fields, and we're done. Nothing more. I cannot make this entire area even bigger than it already is. I mean, if I had to guess, a player who likes to explore a lot would probably spend multiple hours in the city, because there are so many houses. Each house will have interior and gameplay and things to find, and a lot of lore will be hidden in here as well. I will hide so much lore in this city. Okay, that is honestly fine. Let's look the other way. Never mind. Let's decrease the radius. Okay, and right here we need to be very careful. Hey, don't feel stupid. If you know a few lines, you already know definitely more Python than I do, so that's a great start. Okay, it's oh, well, okay, it's simple. I only have 2 blocks from the mountain range in this mask. Um, oh, did I not click on smooth? Did I not click on smooth again? Thanks, Axiom. I guess there's some kind of thing that checks every time I click if I move my cursor too much, or I don't know. I'm just guessing. Okay, so wait. I have an even better idea. Let's weld a little bit of this again. What if the city wall just is a little bit further up? Yeah, that's already a great start, and you can do some things with that. And I mean, from there on out, it's only upwards, I believe. If you already know like how to make your code run, even if it's just a simple thing that it does, you can always add to your knowledge and find new things to do. And let's flatten this up completely and add some shape to that later. So now what I want is firstly make this flat. Okay, yeah. So we have the upper layer and the middle layer right here. We have this mountain, and I think I want to expand the city up to the city wall. So let's get out the shape tool, which is what I like to do every time I build terrain. I use the shape tool, I create a cube, and I just make it big. Well, not that big maybe, but big enough to build some big shapes. So now I place it where I feel comfortable with it, which in this case is right on this corner where I want to create new terrain. And I just press enter, and as you can see, we already have a great, what is it called, plane that I can build with. I can fit some buildings in here, definitely. And does this mountain or boulder need to be this big? Oh damn, you have programming lessons in school. That's amazing. I never had those. I wish I had. I would have loved to learn programming in school. Okay, I know I sound stupid, but I think I want to get rid of this entire mountain and instead build the tower that we've been planning for a long time on the ground and make some maybe some space around it. Just a slight like boulder of green. Yeah, honestly, that would be the perfect outcome. If you could choose your own lesson in school. I think I would have loved that a lot. Also think that that would probably help a lot of people just to concentrate more and maybe learn something about the things that I actually care about. I have no idea what block state does. Solid? Oh, because solid also for some reason focuses blocks that are not solid. Okay, let's get the mask out. Why have I not? Ugh. Okay, I now know what solid does. Any. Okay, stick with no. Oh wait, it's It's count. Okay, okay, I get it. Yeah, let's shrink this down. Or I could still keep it up, but just a little bit further, like in between the upper and the lower layer, like this right now. Maybe one more down. Yeah, then we would still have this wall right here. Some space up here for a tower. And hopefully not a big hole that leads nowhere. Okay, but this is okay. This is really where I will stop expanding the city because it is getting bigger than I can support, which was not the plan. It was never the plan. Um, but I mean, sometimes that's just what happens. I plan something, I get a great idea, I try to build that great idea, and I end up expanding everything further than I can actually support it. So this is definitely where I need to call the end of expanding. I mean, look at this. We've added this entire area now. He'll help. And I'm still not done. We still need wheat fields. Oh yeah, I said I want to have a river that, let's get rid of the mask, a river that flows right across this side of the wall. I could actually have it go through here. Maybe go below the city wall. I could add a little secret mini cave down there. Yeah, I will expand the map forever. That is already where I see myself. But yeah, no, I know, I know. I need to stop, but I can't. I cannot stop. Something is stopping me from stopping. Oh, but no, I mean, this is what I've been talking about a few streams back. We need a food source for the village, city. So you could argue that I'm not expanding the map. I am just building what I promised to build long ago. I know that's an excuse, but let's go with it. Works for me. Okay, so okay, I would say last time you asked, I said around 45. I would say we're now at roughly 60%. The city definitely has taken up a lot of percentages from this map. And with the city almost coming to a close, I think the rest will be really, really quick. I think the cave area back here, we could finish in a pretty reasonable amount of time. When does GTA 6 release? I don't even know. Oh, damn. I guess the better question would be, does it release before Silksong or not? I think, like, doesn't GTA 6 have a release date already? I don't know when, but I believe it does. But yeah, we are still hard at work. So don't worry. I believe also what counts is I have made a lot of, or I have gained a lot of experience throughout building this. And I think we could easily finish this entire part of the city in like one stream. Maybe even both of these parts. I think the thing that takes the most amount of time is probably flying around and talking, which is what I'm doing right now, and figuring out the blocks that I want to use. But once that is actually set in stone, I believe building speeds up a lot. Yeah, so let's build some space for the river. Don't worry, this is probably bigger than it will be at the end. But yeah, I mean, I promised wheat fields, so we are building wheat fields. And this is where we stop arguing. Okay, I think this is a lot of space. Yeah, let's say the river is just a little bit deeper. So it could maybe, let's get some light blue wool out. I think the river should go up to this point. Yeah, I can make this a little bit deeper or higher up as well. Which means there would be some kind of waterfall right around here. Which honestly, I think that would be great. Having a little waterfall. And yeah, of course, having a river right here means that the dirt for the wheat fields is fertile enough. Okay, let's go with this size. I think that is big enough. At least for this setting right now. You could still say, okay, it is an entire land that the city is basically feeding, so we need more, but as you said, I'm just expanding the map infinitely, so I need to stop at this point. Let's build the walls and then get to decorating. And hey look, we are getting awfully close to the be right back screen that I used to use. I mean, at this point we have a comment block set up for the be right back screen that also activates the cinematic view. So I don't really need this here anymore, but I think I'm just going to keep it for the memories. Okay, let's go with some height differences in the wall. Yeah, don't worry too much about little holes right now. We can fix those later. Nope, I didn't want to rotate it that way. This is the pitch. Back to 0. Okay, let's add some extra depth to the mountain range. I mean, yes, it's just squares right now, but I think I have a great setup for fixing that. And one block more right around here, a little bit further down. Okay, now the city wall will expand all the way over here. There will be one last tower, maybe on top of this. Yeah, I mean, even though I am expanding this map constantly, we're still making progress in a way. So yeah, 60% is, I believe, where we're at right now. And this entire new part of the city will not add too much to the overall percentage needed. I believe I could build this pretty quickly. We can probably finish it in 2 streams. Yeah, the squares are back. Okay. Okay, let's paint for now. I need a mask for stone and a painter for grass. And, oh wait, I mean, it's going to be stone at the end anyways, but let's not pay too much attention to how it will be, but more to what it is right now. I think having all of this be stone helps a little bit for the future, for painting. Yeah, one thing that I could have maybe done is build with wool instead of full blocks right now. But now we're already here, so... oh, but this isn't great. Okay, let's do the shape for now. Mm. Uh, okay, where do I even start? We have city here, city here, city here, and this is wall. So I would need to firstly smooth this out a little bit, make it go into each other. Then what I like to do for building big square walls for this and making them look a little bit better is I like to take my distort tool. Usually I would build the walls out of a distinct wool color, which I've forgotten this time, but that's not too much of a problem. So wait, actually I believe it would be slightly faster if I remade this real quick in an actual wool color. Yeah, let's do that. Not too much. Just a very slight time loss. Oh, still have a master plate. And yeah, again, let's not worry too much about holes like this one. I can fix that later. And yeah, so the reason I like to do this and build walls out of a specific wool color instead of just placing the blocks that I need is because having it all in its own distinct block means that I can easily magic wand select all of it and then paint over it without destroying any of the things that I've already placed. So this actually saves a lot of space in the long run. Oops. Well, I wouldn't call it a big Chinese wall, but I guess if that works for you. It is supposed to be a mountain range. The way, yeah, okay, maybe I do see where you're coming from, but damn. Okay, one more wall over here. We can leave this open for now. There's going to be the city wall. Okay, we have height difference in here. And this now means I can apply a mask and paint over this without having to worry about destroying anything that I've already placed. Okay, so what I like to do in order to make these flat, big walls look a little bit more interesting is I like to take out my distort tool. Was it the scale? I like to increase the scale a little bit. 4 sounds great to me. And increase the radius. 10 is nice. And then just go over all of the stuff for now. If it's especially flat in some spaces, I like to draw over it one more time. If you need anything else, like if it still is too flat, you can also go over it with roughen a little bit and then distort it one more time. At the end, I still like to go over all of this using the smooth tool, so it doesn't really matter too much. This is just to get the general shape a little bit more interesting. Yeah, you can also do multiple iterations of this, like distort, then smooth, then distort again, and smoothing again, depending on how you're trying to build. That is totally up to you. This is just how I do it. And if we have some big open space like over here, you can still fill it in as long as you don't have a mask applied, of course, and repeat the same process. And as you can see, this entire mountain range, while still not looking too great, this is definitely a very simple fix. And you could do a lot better if you actually took the time. But I think for this case, this is actually more than enough. Like, this is just a simple mountain wall. Let's go ahead and fix up these holes that always appear when you use a lot of distort, which makes sense. Also, smoothing often ignores the mask that you have set. So you will need to do some manual work after doing this. But that should not take too much time. Just shrinking in some of the stone again. Or out, depending on where it is, of course. And then, yeah, we still, of course, need to apply some color, some extra design. Ooh, this is a big one. And filled. Yeah, we have a lot of holes in here, but flood fill can actually fix all of these. And yeah, this is actually, like, I didn't start building like this on this map. But if I build another map with mountain ranges like this is definitely how I would be doing it. And every single object with a different wool color. So if you have some boulders that lie on the path of the player, I would use a different wool color for those. The path itself, in this case, just a stone, which could also count as its own color. Not wool, but a color nonetheless. And yeah, it's important to pre-plan everything according to what you are trying to do. And so even if you misplan anything, having it all in its all distinct block helps to make editing at a later stage a lot easier. Like right now, if I were not happy with the mountain range, I could redo it easily because it's one distinct block. You see, I can select all of it with magic wand. Well, not all of it because it has limited range, but you get what I mean. And the same actually also goes for the path that the player is on. You can also easily select all of it. So yeah, for every single thing that you have in your map, use a different color. It saves so much time once you actually get to decorating. And yeah, let's fill in this hole that I've left open up until now. I think I'm going to use weld for that. Oh. Because it's simple and easy and quick. And yeah, we already also have a path downward, so I think I'm going to get rid of that. Also, I like to fix some of these edges because yes, it should look kind of smooth, but not too smooth. I think it should still remain or retain a specific angle. And if you have too much space on this side, then that angle kind of flattens down near the top a lot. And I usually like to have it stay as one straight line or even as some kind of bow like this. That's just how I do it. Depends on what kind of terrain you're trying to build, of course. And then, of course, this is all smoothed and carved out by tools. So you will most likely need to do some handwork afterwards. But if you're building a big map like this, that should not be a problem. Okay, now we have a house that actually expands into the ground, like down below where it shouldn't be. Which is fine, we can use that as some kind of interesting touch to this build later. Like the same way that I've done it with this overhang. It just expands down into the city, and this looks nice, I believe. Okay, where do we go from here? Wait. Yeah. Only took 3 Code Vein songs for me to notice that YouTube turned off shuffle mode again. Okay. Now let's move this one out as well a little bit. Just be careful not to touch the city wall. And I was thinking about the world building of this place because this is a city, and of course, with it having a city wall, you would assume they want to be safe from attackers or invaders or any kind of this thing, any kind of threat. So the question is, why are the city walls at the bottom of the valley, but not at the top? If an attacker comes from the top, wouldn't they have an easy way inside of the village? City. Damn. um, and I have not yet found a real excuse for that. I might actually just expand the city wall at the top. But yeah, watchtowers or water. That would be a great idea. And I'm definitely thinking we could add a lot of watchtowers on top of this. I also always like to build some of the out of map zones. Like as you can see right here, this entire mountain range is basically out of zone, but you can still see it. And I think that would be some great details if we have some watchtowers. I might just copy them over from another map so we don't waste too much time. But that's honestly a great idea. Just watchtowers, maybe some remains of a wall. Yeah. And water, definitely. Like a big river. If we already have a river that flows right here. Oh, we could also go with an ocean, right? I know an ocean wouldn't make sense. Because then why would they build the city that far in and not like have what is it called? You know what I mean. I can't talk right now. Okay, let's go to get out some new wool blocks. This time I want lime and red we already have. Oh, we have gray wool. Let's go cyan and orange. But yeah, some kind of water. Watchtowers, definitely. And the rest I need to see while building then. Okay, how? 5 blocks sounds reasonable. Or how much do we have right here? Now this is diagonal, right? This is hard to see. Yeah, but it's also roughly like 5 blocks. Let's say this. So yeah. I would build a lot more towers, I think. Like towers for city wall. Also some smaller towers would be nice. We don't always need these big ones. We could also have a small one like this. Or even something like this, which is just for visuals. And okay, this already goes a little bit too far in. I want this city wall to curve a little bit. So yeah, let's say right here is a curve where they go 45 degrees. So let's try to keep it consistent with the thickness. So right here, this should come out at about 5, which is right. And if we now look at this, this is also 5, which is just how I want it to be. Then I think I want to have a tower right around here. Let's make sure it is an odd number of blocks, 7 in this case. From here we can go slightly out up until this point. Then we can add another small tower right around here. This is 6 blocks, not 7. Yeah, that's better. And from here I would like this to go probably 3 blocks every time and then diagonal. And that would reach directly inside of this mountain, which is where I want this to go. So that's perfect. Let's go 3 again. Now 3 and 3 one more time. The city wall goes in here, so this is probably going to be a smaller tower, while this one is going to be a bigger one. Let me actually just add some extra blocks to give that feeling of this is a big tower. And it's going to reach into this mountain, which I also want to be a tower. So let's get rid of some of this. Just so we can build the tower. And okay, so this would be like this, but I actually want the tower to start right here. So let's go with 7 blocks again. And this is where the city wall could actually end. Or like end for the player at least. Because I know exactly if I continue building the city wall on top of the mountain range, then that means players will want to explore that, which means, again, that I need to add more gameplay. And that would be the point where I say, okay, now I'm expanding far more than I'm actually able to support. We are already kind of reaching the limit. Actually, I think I want to get rid of this tower. The idea is nice, but the execution, I think, I just don't want to build another tower. Let's just have the city wall curve twice. Then we have 2 towers over here. We can just for show have the city wall go into... Let's go... not directly diagonal, because that looks kind of weird. Yeah, that would probably go up to around this height. And inside of the wall, inside of the mountain, I mean. Oh wait, no, this needs to go... Okay, messed up the numbers. Oh, well, okay, this is just for... Yeah, okay. Right here again. Okay. Let's actually build this up a little bit. Just so that we have a better view of how this is supposed to look. But yeah, what I am doing right now, I've applied a mask that checks if the lime wool block is below. If yes, then it can place another block, which means this is, yes, it is kind of rough looking right now, but we can still fix that later. For now, I just want to build this up so I can move it all to a similar height. This is the end, so oops. Okay. Okay, and this tower, of course, will need to go just a little bit bigger than the city wall itself, so it sticks out more. Oh yeah, I believe the basics I could probably learn those pretty quickly. It's just actually starting that I need to do. But yeah, I mean, a simple if statement should not be a problem for me. Oh, oh no. I mean, if also exists in Minecraft, like if I write execute if, that is already an if statement. And if you want an like if else, then you could, this only works in a data pack, but you have this comment at this or what is it, this command called return. And if you use that in a data pack, what it does is, I think if it fails, if the statement that you're trying to check fails, then it will stop the function that you are running right now. Oops. Which could also be used as a if-else statement, because it still it still allows you to put a final command that it runs even if or only if it fails. So I believe the basics I should probably be able to learn fairly quickly. But do you mean something like I'm trying to kind of convert this to scoreboard or to Minecraft comments just for me, but is it kind of like scoreboard players operation where you can do a lot of math with scoreboards and then check if a scoreboard is bigger or smaller than something? Even you can also like loop scoreboards, so that would probably fit in. Is it kind of like that? Yeah, I'll try to kind of find connections with the Minecraft comment blocks, just so that imagining the different statements is easier for me in this moment at least. Oh yeah, okay, this is actually what I've been doing a lot with scoreboards in Minecraft, so yeah, it all seems like it's very, very doable. I mean, I really should get into it finally. Yeah, I'll do my Minecraft stuff first, but this is definitely on my high priority list of things that I want to learn and do. Okay, this is a nice outline for the city wall. Oh, this could be a little bit bigger. Yeah, definitely. This is... It is on my high priority list. I will get to learn it, hopefully very soon. Okay, so with this outline being done, we can actually go ahead and what do we do? Probably plan the city, right? So I don't want any buildings too close to this mountain. We have one that goes right into it, but this is going to be the only one. And but also only because I like how it's placed. I think this is a very nice placement for a building like this. But I don't want too many buildings near this boulder, simply because there is going to be a... I like to call it wizard tower, but it's not really a wizard tower, it's just the vibe that it gives me. The vibe, not the vibe. Okay. So I think red wool is for streets. So let's line out the streets that we already have. This building is ending right here, so we have a street going this way, which also means that we have some space. 4 blocks. That's not worth it. Um, what do we do? I think I have an idea. Let's get out the stone. Let's remove this and instead have this house be this way. Okay, so this is 8 blocks. Let's make it 7 because I like houses that are 7 blocks wide. Um, okay, that actually fits right in. Now we have this street that kind of leads nowhere, and I don't want a building right on this side. Um, though you know what? Let's shrink this a little bit. The mountain doesn't need to be this big. Especially because it's now not a mountain. It's just a little hill. Okay, so now we have a lot more space that I can work with. Let's be sure not to get too close anyways. I'll mark this, which means there could be a house right around here that goes up to this point. How many blocks is that? Okay, I would probably turn this one around then. Like this. This is 7, yes. And because this is a very, well, not so big house, 9 blocks versus 7 blocks on the other side. This is a very weird looking house. So I want to add some extra rooms on this side. Maybe just this one is totally fine. But it gives the house a little bit more shape. Okay, let's have a street that goes around this way. And okay, I want some more interesting houses. So I do like the idea of having a big flat cliff around here and some houses on the other side. So this would probably be like this cozy sidewalk or like alleyway that I could also make a little bit more green. 5, 4, 7. 5, 4, 7, what? 5, 6, 7. Can't even count anymore. Okay. What if we place 2 extra structures? So I don't know if I am going to like this. Usually with extra rooms on houses like this, I would either expand it near the top, like as you can not see here, but usually... Oh damn, I have no houses like this in this world. Yeah, but usually near the top I like to like place these and then some more blocks on top of that, like this, to expand the house kind of outwards. But I don't think for this house that would necessarily fit all that well. Maybe if I go with this structure, but then I could also change this up a little bit. Okay, that's better already. Okay. Let's say we have a street right here. We could go for a street right here, which means we have room for probably 2 houses. This is 6 blocks, let's make it 7. Okay, 1 house. How much is this? This is 4. Maybe if we build like a very narrow house like this, that would mean we are still filling a lot of space, but we also have some leftovers. But I don't like to have these big open areas in the city. Okay, let's find something else for this. I mean, we could also say that there is only one street. And yeah, these houses could kind of go into each other, even though they are different houses. Which is fine. But does it fit in this world? I think that's actually kind of not so great. And this would... Well, let's just go with it, and if I don't like these 2 extra things, I can still remove them later. Okay, we have another 7 block house right here. I don't like 2 block alleyways because the roofs usually extend 1 block outwards every time. In this case, even 2 blocks, which means on very close alleyways that the houses' roofs are already touching a lot, which doesn't look too great, I think. So I want to minimize that. Okay, if this is a river, let's cut it off right here. Expand this a little bit so we have a better view of where the river goes. So we have some extra space for houses right around here, probably. Yeah, I think this I could build a more interesting house right around here. So this can be 5 blocks, but it goes into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 house. Oh wait, this could actually be very interesting. Yeah, but we still need to be very careful with the river at this point. I think the river is going to come out of a slight waterfall around here. This goes down into here, then it's going to be very close, which means there isn't a lot of space between the houses and the river. But I still want to have a walkway. Should I build walkways out of orange? Or do I stick with red? I mean, in this case, it doesn't matter too much. This is just an outline for visual purpose. Okay, these streets meet over here. Now, right at this point, the city looks very square, like a lot of squares are just patched next to each other. Over here, I think that's a little bit better, but it's also a lot less organized, which I could also improve on. I think another house around here would fit. Though wait, this can I build a house that doesn't directly touch the city wall? Oh wait, maybe I block all of this off, honestly. And we can say new houses start at around here. And I still want some houses with towers again. What if I... Oh wait, no lime wool. Let's go with orange this time. I want to mark this as a tower in this house. Let's put it somewhere around here, just to break off the city a little bit. Oh, but that isn't a great spot. Maybe further up is better. Yeah, now we have the space to keep the street going. Connected over here. Which means we have space for roughly one more house. Right here. Oh, well, is it too bad if the house kind of goes into the river? I mean, it would be a problem because like water is very strong, which means that a house that directly touches the water will probably be a lot weaker in the long run because of water corrosion damage and stuff like that. Let's build this a little bit differently. Let's work with what we have. We could, of course, go for some greenery. And yeah, near the open or like near the exit of the river where it goes into, well, wherever it goes. Usually rivers go to the ocean, which actually would make sense in terms of like direction because let me actually fly up right here so I can show better. We have the ocean that starts around here in the forest, which means if the ocean also starts at around here, that would mean that it's kind of like this line going around here. And that is where the ocean of this map starts. I know I definitely need to rework the wall on the forest right over here. Because if this is an ocean, that's a very sad ocean, let's be honest. But the general idea stands. Also, I think an ocean is a very nice way to build, what is it called? Like out of map zones without using invisible blocks. Just feels a lot more natural. Just to say, yeah, this is a very big ocean. You can go on this freely, but you will probably never find an end. And if you do, it's probably just going to be void. So I think, yeah, I want to, I don't like the idea of having invisible walls um, as map ends and zones. I still like to have it be dynamic and explorable if the player so wants to do so. Because I personally like to explore out of map zones. And I believe I'm not alone on that. So I want people to have the option to explore out of map if they want to do that. Though of course, a lot of the fun from exploring out of map comes from finding your way around the loading zones. But well, in Minecraft, that's just the thing. I don't really want to deal with building loading zones or hitboxes to avoid. It's more like, okay, this is out of map. You can explore if you want, or you don't. And a person who wants to see what's outside will still have a lot of fun finding all the secrets that I'm going to place there. You could honestly call my out of maps not even out of map anymore. Okay, that is better. Yeah, and this road would then probably lead into some kind of dirt path alongside the river. This is probably going to be blocked off, so the player can go through the backyard to find a little hole inside of the city wall, which leads them to this very, very small area. And I think I think I want to hide just a little secret around that place. Maybe an emerald or a special chest. Okay, let's keep going with the city now. Because we still have some of the upper half that still needs a lot of buildings. So the buildings up here are a lot more interesting. I know this is just a bunch of squares and this is, each house has its own kind of personality. Yeah, I mean, you could say, even though this is still both the middle district and just the middle class, the normal class that people in the city live in, you could still say that the buildings at the top are a little bit more expensive and therefore look nicer. That's honestly just a lazy excuse for me, but it works. So let's not pay too much attention to that, right? It's fine. Okay. Oh wait, that is too close. Of course, even up here, we still have some of the square houses. And honestly, I should maybe copy and paste those just to save some time, because it is the same house over and over again. So building all of them by hand would probably be a big waste of time. And oh wait, we need a main road. Okay, we have a main road right here. A main road that is used to transport all the goods, like the wheat and the plants, from the fields over to the city. We probably also need some kind of storage building for, well, the plants and the food. But I think I'm just going to place that one on the field side over here. Yeah, I could probably build an extra building somewhere around here, and that has a lot of storage with a lot of food. Yes, this house is very close to the river, but we could say that they have this backyard garden with direct access to the river. So that would be a reason why this house is up here. Well, more like an excuse, but close enough. Oh, I am getting called. Give me a moment. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I just got a call. Nothing special, just yeah, nothing to worry about. I mean, I could tell I misclicked earlier this day and accidentally called someone and just now they got the message and called me back. So yeah, it was literally just a misclick, which is funny. I think, like, I have an Android phone, and the for the phone app that we have on Android, you can, I don't know if you can also do that on iPhone. I have no idea. But you can, like, swipe right on your contacts to immediately call them without having to click anything. And while scrolling down my contacts because I wanted to call someone else, I accidentally right-clicked or right-swiped on a person and immediately called them. And in hopes of them not getting a message, I immediately hung up. But seems like they did get a message. So yeah, thanks for that, I guess. Okay, I think one more building. Yeah, I mean that's not bad, but like still kind of annoying. Yeah, this road leads straight into a cliff. Like if you're not careful, you will just walk down into nothing. No, don't worry, I'm going to block it off with trapdoors. Oh, I love this trapdoor railway. Oh, is it a railway? No, it's oh, what is it called? Oh, is that the right word? I have no idea, but you know what I mean. Just having trapdoors to block the path off. Okay, and I think this could be a nice viewing platform. Maybe. Oh, wait, yeah. Let's put a tower right here. Yeah, like a safety thing. Come on, YouTube. I just paused my music. Why do you still ask me if I'm still alive? Yes, I am. I literally just paused a minute ago. Okay, we have a tower that can be used as a viewing platform. I could make it like a public access viewing tower. That would honestly be a nice idea, I think. And it's right on the cliff, so let's say it goes up to this point. You have a nice view over everything. And oh, look at that. We have expanded the city a lot. Don't worry, the wheat fields are not going to take so long. It's literally just a few, some fields. And I think the city, or not the city, the road to the fortress should stay relatively empty. I might just add one extra house. Or maybe. Okay, let's put a line right here. Yeah, that is a good size, I believe. Okay, so this goes slightly down. Um, I think I want a building right around here. 4, 5, 6, 7. Which means there is some space back here. I could connect the roads. I'll worry about that later. That's not too bad now. And this space around here will be mostly free. I want to place a custom tree right here and then go into more buildings at this point. Okay, now we need to watch out because of the size of these houses. Because this is already very, very close to touching the next building. 7 blocks. Okay. Yeah, we have some space over here for some nature, some greenery. Some more space even for another building. This one can go into the wall, which is totally fine. We have lots of these buildings. I'm looking at this one. Okay, now I think maybe just a few more houses around the site. 7 blocks. This can have a slightly more interesting shape, since it is the last building in this row. Let's also go with another tower. Oh, would that be nice? I like building towers, let me be honest. But I'm not sure if building a tower so close to the fortress is nice. Like if you're in the tower, you're looking out the window. I don't think I want to have a tower right here. Do I have space for a full building? No, not really. If I leave 2 blocks of space, this is 5. No, we don't have space for another building. Yeah, maybe I... Okay, wait, I have an idea. Let's expand this house a little bit, make it bigger, and then, just like the house back there, we add a tower on its side. Rounded tower? Or not rounded tower? Maybe not rounded. This looks actually kind of better. Yeah, that is honestly fine. And now we are almost out of space at this point. I think this is kind of like the line. Let me build a second line where I would like to transition from concrete road to dirt road. Which means I'm probably going to build a railing across this side. Some nature inside, like a little, just a little space for greenery. Like a small park, you know? Okay, looking at this, the size of the city has basically doubled. But I also feel like this would help a lot to make the city feel more alive and more realistic. But let me actually take a screenshot of this for the thumbnail. Perfect. Okay, we need a bridge across this small canyon. Let me get out some wool blocks again, and I would go with brown wool for the bridge, because it is probably... Or are we building a stone bridge? That would also be fun. I think I could add a little arch at the bottom. Oh yeah, this is going to be a stone bridge. Okay, and At this point, the wheat fields would start, which means that the path is no longer out of stone, but transitions into dirt right here. And what color are we going with? Let's go with cyan. And I'm actually going to build this in dots instead of with full lines. Just so the kind of curve is a little bit more natural. Okay, if we have a storage building, let's say right around here, this would obviously be pretty big. I'm not going to count blocks for now. We can deal with that later. For now, I just want to have a rough shape of this house. Yeah, this is going to be a very big house. But of course, if we have a lot of hay bales and a lot of different shelves for different foods and such things, then I believe a big storage house is a good idea. This is not a barn, so there are no animals over here. I would say the city people don't really have any animals. Maybe some chickens, but not more. Um, okay, and from here, the road would go into different fields of food supplies. So it would split maybe once around here. Then we have a field at this point, a field here, a bigger field around this side. Yeah, we can also add a lot of different food sources. So another field here that is already surrounded by road. And maybe we could add another split right here. This goes very close to the edge, which is fine. This could be also a nice place to sit. I believe sitting here on a bench, looking upon the entire city. Well, not the entire city, but a very good chunk of it. Right now it looks kind of weird, I know, but it's going to take shape once we actually start decorating. Today is very much just a planning stream for the future. Okay, we have another field here. And I think I would like to cut this one off as well. Okay. So this is roughly the shape that we are working with. Honestly, looking at this, we could add a little, just a very small barn building for some chickens. Yeah, I think saying that the city people are all completely vegan is might not really fit the vibe of the story. So yeah, having some animals would make a lot of sense. I would like to place that barn right next to the storage building. So maybe in this space. Well, it's going to be more of an open field for chickens to run around, maybe some little huts in which they sleep and lay eggs, but not something that's like industrialized like in our modern world. This is still very much a medieval world. Okay. So let's now go ahead and paint all of this with grass, just as a filler for now. Wait, actually, let me also add another thing right here. And can see sky and block, which means it's not going to paint the sides of the cliff anymore, which I actually like a lot. Which means that I can be a little bit more rough while painting over here. And for this space, I would like to do the exact opposite and go from grass to stone, because this is part of the city. Okay. So now we should maybe start planning these buildings. I want to build the wheat fields later. Yeah. Let's stack up some of these houses for now. And 5 blocks is cool. This one I would say, or maybe also 5. And this little side building. Or do we make it bigger or smaller? Or same size? Let's try same size maybe. Mm, this building right here fits more like a 4-block building. And this looks to me like a 6-block building. I like all the bit different buildings to have different heights for every part of their walls, just so it looks a little different no matter where you look. Like right now, this has a lot of different heights. Just this single view alone has the buildings up here, then something here, something a little bit more bottom, and in line with this one right here that you don't really recognize is the building right here. This looks very rough, but you get the idea. So this makes for a lot of interesting depth in the building. It makes it just slightly more interesting to look at. Of course, if your building has a lot of extra side buildings, you would want the main building to be a little bit bigger so that the side structures don't look too out of place. But yeah, I would still pay a lot of attention to making sure that the houses all have different heights. Or that the same height doesn't repeat for too often. Now this house I would like to make a little bit more shorter, because it actually has quite a big garden over here that is actually going to belong to the house. And so it hits me more like a hut, not like a house. And those have the smaller feeling, I think. Okay, and this right here is a tower, so it would obviously stretch out far beyond the house itself, probably even above the roof. So yeah, this would be a nice height. Remember, the tower also has its own roof, so no need to make it too big right now. Oh, and we have a side building for that one as well. Okay, let's keep going with the houses over here. Um, so this tower, I want to go very high, around here looks perfect. Yeah, you have a view of the entire city. Oh, please don't fall off when you're actually up here. That would be deadly. You can look even over the city wall into the lower district, into the fortress at the very end of the entire area. This one. I need to rework this, I know. But we're at the city now, so let's stick with that. These houses are all very close to the river, so I would like to keep them a little bit smaller, not over 6. And this is slightly further in again, so I actually want this to be the biggest house from the district. For some reason, this just feels correct to me. Yeah, so the buildings kind of grow as you go outside, and once you hit the edge at the outline, they are a little bit smaller again, and that feels correct to me. So the buildings at this point are all rather tall. So let's go 6 and beyond. Oh, this one can also be 6. The side building kind of makes up for the height difference. And these two can actually be the same height. Because I like how they... Oh no, wait, let me... One smaller. One smaller. Yeah, okay, that is fine. This house at the very edge, I believe, could go with a slightly taller design. Okay, 5 blocks is still not taller, but it also always depends on the feel, you know? I might say, or this might be 5 blocks, but because of the way it is placed, like around these houses that are, this house is 4 blocks, 3 on the side of the roof. So 5 actually looks a lot bigger than it is in comparison to the houses over here. Oh yeah, you kind of have to play with perspective and with the buildings that are close. It's kind of like creating an illusion, if that makes sense. So this tower goes up a lot again. And I want both of these to be 1 block down. Okay. Oh yes, the city. This has a lot more depth already. Let's go with building the roofs now, or outlining them at least. So usually what I like to do is I take out another wool block. So we have actually used all of the wool that I have in my inventory right now. So let's take out some new ones. Purple is nice. Magenta is nice. Just normal green is also cool. And pink, while we're already at it, for the gradient. Okay, and I like to start with the roof outline, which always has its own color for me. As you can see here, we go from the stone look to wood. And yeah, these roof outlines touch again. Let's just hope no one pays too much attention to that. If I make this a short, like a lot of the people on TikTok at least, when I upload short videos, like to complain about the use of mods in buildings. I think if I upload this to TikTok with all the axiom that I'm using and dragging blocks in and painting all things at once, I think I'm going to piss off a lot of these people. Which I think at this point I'm just going to do that intentionally. Because I think it's funny. Getting mad over the use of mods in a sandbox game that is known for its modding community. Yeah, I like reading all kinds of comments, and even I think still, even with a lot of hate comments, it's still everyone has a reason to say what they say, right? And so I think even if they hate on me for doing a specific thing, I can still use that thing that they complain about and see it maybe not as something that I need to improve on, but just some criticism. Like some people like to call this building style that I've used here block vomit, which I totally agree with. Like these houses, this is basically, the roof is basically block vomit in a way. But I think in this case it is actually fine. I have taken this into consideration. People, even if it's just a slight block variation, people do notice if I put blocks in a white noise pattern. And even though I do think in this very example it is not all that fitting to complain, it is still something that I would like to keep in mind for future builds. Like everyone has a reason to talk, and not everyone might be nice when talking about things, but they still have a reason at a point. And I think trying to understand that point is the key to improving even when the criticism is just a hate comment. As long as you don't let it get to you, that is, I think, the most important part. Not getting demotivated because some person on the internet said so. And for me, it's definitely something that I also take as, well, what is it called? As just something to waste time on. Reading people's comments, seeing what they think, and maybe even getting myself rage baited. I think that's can be fun at sometimes. I'm totally fine with that. Well, I wouldn't actually agree. Like, they say stupid stuff, yes, but they do have some kind of point of origin where that stupid stuff comes from. And that point of origin, even though they might not say it directly, it is still something that if you figure out what they mean, there could be some useful information behind that. Like with the people calling me out for using block vomit, that is definitely, I do see it. Like, I don't agree with it because in the sense or in the context of these buildings specifically, I think I did it the right way. But there is still something to consider for future builds. It might not be nice the way they say it, but they have a point of origin, and I respect that. And people complaining about mod use, for example, it's either probably Bedrock players who don't have access to these mods, or people who have no idea how much time a building like this actually costs. So that is where I would say, okay, these buildings, these people don't have the experience they would need to talk. There is still a clear message, like automating the building process takes some of the creativity away, which you could argue about. I don't necessarily agree, but I do still, again, see the point. because after all, you're no longer placing every block by hand, but automating part of the process. Which is actually a very valid criticism, I think. Yes, it is to save time. But again, then these people might not quite understand why I want to save time. But you could also argue, why are you building something that is out of your reach in a size that you cannot support without mods? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't take the creativity away, but it is definitely a way to make the process easier. And making it easier, I think, is what annoys a lot of people. And again, I would say it's a lot of Bedrock players simply because they don't have access to the mods and therefore have to look at me using them with no chance of actually being able to experience this kind of time save themselves. Yeah, that also. Like you could say, okay, there's a lot more copy and paste because it's all a lot faster. But again, as you said, it allows me to try out new things faster, which in turn increases the creativity again. So yeah, definitely, you're right about that. Yeah, people on the internet can be harsh, but there is always some kind of point behind what they are saying. Even if it doesn't make sense from your standpoint, they still have a reason. A reason. Okay, this doesn't look great. What do I do with this little side building? I need to add some kind of roof to it, but nothing seems to fit. Or do I try this again? Oh well, yeah, that is okay. I will probably go with slabs and stairs around this point. Okay, but that actually does work. This is a 7-block house, so okay. Yeah, we have a lot of 7-block houses. I might want to make a preset of the roof just to copy it around. Yeah, we'll actually make a preset of this specific roof, and then if the building is longer, I can still expand on that. But I think most houses on this map are 7 blocks wide. So yeah, building every one of these roofs by itself is probably a big time waste. So let's build a mask or both wool types, magic select. I didn't want to press enter, I wanted to press copy. And okay, I don't need to put it into, what is that? I don't need to put it into a blueprint. I can just copy and paste it around like that. Oh, and look, it almost fits. But that is fine. I can just move it outwards. Wait, let me actually work with magic select more. And just a few blocks need to be replaced by hand. And of course the inside needs to be filled in. I kind of forgot about that. But the more buildings I add, the more I'm kind of scared about the interior building part. I think I'm going to make a lot of blueprints for the interior and not come up with creative new interiors for every single building. For most of them, definitely. But I think if I create a unique interior for every single one of these houses, let's not forget about the lower district, I think this map never gets done. I will probably speed that process up a lot. Let's actually get extrude out because it is slightly faster. Ooh, it fits perfectly. Amazing. And I think this is a 5-block roof, so this is going to be manually built again. Let's get the orange wool again for this tower. I'm not going to deal with the tower right now, simply because I don't want to. But I'll at least stack it up a little bit. Yeah, this is probably not going to fit perfectly. And even if I still need to remove the back row of purple wool. Oh, it does fit perfectly though. Oh well. And this is a 5-block building, so let's copy this over. Yeah, I need to speed things up just a tiny bit. But even though I just increased the size of the city, I still feel like we are very fast approaching the point where the city is actually done. So if I had to guess, I would say like maybe 3-4 more streams of this. And then we are done. This is definitely the biggest chapter so far in this entire map. Oh wait, what if I extend the roof over the other roof? That could honestly be interesting. And let me now magic select this right here. Drag it over to this point. Maybe one more, two more. This is too close. One more. And yeah, it overlaps a lot. Oh, this overlaps too much even. Or is it too much? Okay, let's structure this a little bit differently. So this is actually 3 blocks, 3 times 2 down, like this. And yeah, it's hard to see right now because we are inside the wall. Okay, this makes sense. Perfect. Block it off again so nobody sees. Oh wait, but that would probably mean that I have to kind of change this up as well. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is 1, 2, 3, and then 2 blocks down. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 blocks down. Okay, this is how it's supposed to look, though this is still kind of weird. Is it a problem though? Maybe not. This means that I have to take 1 block from the house away. But if that means making it fit, then why not? Wait, wrong block. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. Have I filled in the roofs? This one I have not. And yeah, I think next stream we are probably going to finish most of the normal buildings right here. Then we still have part of the city wall right here. The wheat fields are probably not going to take too long. The storage building will take a little bit longer though. Not... I'm not building it again. Copy and paste. This is slightly too big, which is fine. Okay, fixed. Now we have a 5-block roof. I'm actually building this one again. Okay, you know what? Roof 7B. Save that as a blueprint, because I think I'm going to switch back and forth a lot more, so why not just place it as a blueprint? To save some time. Man, what kind of shot am I going to do today? Are we just going to... will this be like an open-ended shot where I don't really finish a project, but more like just start it? I mean, I think probably because we have not really finished any actual project today. It is more like I started a few. All right, have fun with whatever you're doing. Thanks for sticking around for so long, actually, and I hopefully see you next stream, which is going to be on Thursday. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. And yeah, I'm also not going to keep going for too long now. I just want to finish a few more buildings before I can say that I'm fine for today. Oh, we have a lot of 5-block roofs in this corner. Oh, and these directly touch, right? I don't appreciate that. Let's move the front of this building one in. And this 5-block roof is actually going to be a little bit taller, so I am going to build it again. Well, not again, it is a new roof. But you get the point. Yeah, I think if I'm making a short today, it will probably be the expansion of this entire area. And then I'll probably just put like a to be continued screen at the end, I guess. I know that's a very lazy way of doing it probably, but I mean, we don't really have more to show. I have to, at some point, end it. Like, I don't like making like open-ended videos. I like to have one project in one video. But then again, I have not uploaded in a while. Like I think last stream has not been a short. The stream before that, I think I've also skipped. So I need to kind of get back into making short form content. I've been dragging it out for too long now. I could also do some commentary videos, but I don't know too much about, I'm not sure about that. do I even have something that I could use for commentary videos? I mean, I could take a clip of me explaining how I plan buildings. That would probably... Oh, sorry, if that was probably pretty loud. I just accidentally punched my microphone arm. I mean, I could make a video of me explaining what my thought process was when building this terrain back here. But then again, I kind of feel lazy today. But I want to put out a shot. But actually the commitment every single time is kind of challenging me. I need to be honest. I want to keep going, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it so often. But then again, like, short form content is basically the best form of advertisement you can do. And if I want this channel to grow, then that is kind of the path that I would need to take probably. Because yeah, long form content exists and long form content is amazing, but it is also a lot more effort for a lot less payoff in most cases. Like, if you already have an audience, long form content is probably the way to go. But I don't. And I mean, I've noticed ever since starting to upload short form videos, I have gained a lot of followers on Twitch. So yeah, there's no denying that this is probably the way. But it's a commitment. Like, I know I'm already opening my editing program every day anyways. But I think it's more like the idea of thinking about what kind of content I want to make. And if I don't actually have something to show for it, it kind of feels like, to me, it is pointless almost. I know that it's not, but it feels like it. Yeah, I need to find a balance for that. Because usually I have a lot of fun editing videos. I love editing. That's the thing. Like, I love editing videos. I like doing stuff. I love just seeing my projects turn into reality. Um, yeah, I think it's just mostly the thought of thinking about what content I want to make. Or not the thought of thinking about, but like just the act of thinking about it. Usually I have no problems with that. Like, when we built the city gate over here, I was like, yeah, sure, that's a short video for today. When I built the city over here, that was also the city over here, that was also a no-brainer for me. Same as the marketplace. But with things like this, like, we are nearing end of stream, and this is currently what we have. Nothing of this is finished. Where do I even make a shot out of this? Do you get my point? I hope. wouldn't it be perfect to have a personal editor who works for free? No, no, stop it. I mean, of course, that would be amazing, but like obviously that's not going to happen. And I also don't want that to happen. I wouldn't want people to do work for me for free. But it's not like I'm making enough money to pay anyone. So that also kind of falls out of the question. Yeah, this is, as I've said on my YouTube video announcing the whole streaming thing, this is going to be a long and a very stressful path. But I think over time it will be worth it. It's just like, yeah, the beginning of streaming. The first few, most for most people probably months or even years. I mean, years is more likely. But it's all about consistency and keeping or keep going, not stopping, and not getting demotivated. I mean, look, I am streaming since like roughly two months now, and even though the progress is slow, it is definitely visible. Like on day one, there was no one, not a single soul in chat, nor in just the viewer count. And now, 2 months in, at least we are sitting at a consistent 2 views, which is still just one number more, but it is, let's look at it from a different perspective. It is 100% more. And like, how could I ever complain about that? I would say I'm going at a good pace. And I'm purposefully not looking at any statistics, because I feel good the way it is right now. Of course, I would like to be slightly faster and bigger. I like to talk to people. But I mean, where we're at right now is already a good point, I would say. Yeah, it's all about perspective. I think like for anyone who's maybe also starting to stream or whatever is wants to get into this field, like you need to go into this with the mindset of it will take a long time. And I think if you're fine with spending a large amount of time streaming to basically no one, but if you're also willing to invest the time into marketing yourself through short form videos or even long form videos, depending on what you're trying to do, I think if you actually take your time to do that, then that could potentially increase your growth significantly. I mean, I was probably also very lucky with TikTok making one of my videos going completely viral. Like I think right now it's sitting at 250,000 views. And like never in my life did I think I would reach those numbers ever. Even though it is short form content. And yeah, I think it's, of course, a lot of it is luck. But the longer you keep going, the more like, I would say you build your pity. Like if we kind of, what is it called? A free, oh wait, I need to Google Translate this word. I have no idea what is, no, I don't want to open Twitch. No, no. Okay. Compare. Oh yeah, compare is the word. I didn't even Google Translate it. If we, where was I? Oh no, I have completely lost the point. Oh, this is sad. I am so sorry. Oh, this is annoying. I'll probably remember once I turn off stream. Mm, we were at uploading short form content and oh, I don't remember. I'm so sorry. I will I will talk about it next stream or something if I remember. I don't know. Yeah, I also think what could help is maybe actually going into variety content. Oh, should I talk about this now or at the beginning of next stream? I feel like every time I start stream, which is like kind of doing a little push, usually most of my views come from the beginning of streams. Or the very first few minutes. Um, and after that, it kind of goes down. So every now and then it goes up again. But usually the biggest influx of simultaneous viewers are in the first few minutes. So sometimes when I want to say something important, I kind of feel like maybe if I just wait till next stream so that more people could hear it and maybe get interested in what I'm trying to say. I think this is, it might be annoying now for any like VOD watchers in the future. This could be annoying right now. But don't worry, I have something to talk about for next stream. Yeah, I'm just going to keep the important details at the beginning of streams for now. Obviously everything will change once I actually build a consistent community. But we are still having time till then. This is one too far out. Yet until then, I think it would be wise to optimize like literally every aspect of the stream. I am definitely taking this very seriously. I think that's also very important, like taking what you are doing seriously, even if it's still at the very beginning stages. If you don't start taking it seriously early, then you might fall into the habit of never taking it seriously or waiting for the perfect opportunity. But let's be really here, the perfect opportunity will never come. And if you don't actually get going and do what you're trying to do, then it's just going to be an endless cycle of doing nothing. And I've been thinking, like before I started streaming, like I was still doing one YouTube video every 6 months, maybe 2 years, if you're lucky. And yeah, that got me kind of thinking, where do I actually want to go with this? And I have made myself a lot of, or I've been thinking a lot about this entire path of my life that I'm trying to take. And yeah, that also means that now that we're actually here, I am definitely taking it as seriously as I possibly could. Like, yes, I'm, of course, having a lot of fun. That is the main goal, having fun, of course. But also optimizing the fun out of it is also very important, I think, at the beginning. Like right now, I think I'm very consistent with my streams. Usually when you look at my YouTube schedule, I say, okay, I will upload every month from now on. I will make one big video every month. And then I do that for, if you're lucky, 2 months. And then I fall into a deep silence for the next 8 months. And I think I don't need to explain why that is bad. I think my former YouTube watchers, if their accounts are even still active, at this point probably used to me not uploading and not being able to keep to a schedule. And so I think I'm very proud of the fact that I've been able to keep consistent streams up. Like, of course, there are some hiccups every now and then, but I usually get back into it every time. Well, not usually, I am getting back into it every time. And I think that I can be proud of me for that. For being able to keep a schedule when usually I cannot even do monthly stuff. But now I can do stuff every other day. And yes, like streaming is, let's be honest, streaming is a lot less effort than making a big YouTube video. But that's also why I usually set one every month. Like 1 month is more than enough if I write the script on 1 week and then I record stuff on the 2nd week and then I edit stuff on the 3rd week. I still have 1 whole week of doing whatever I want. So technically speaking, doing monthly videos should not be a problem, not at all. I could probably even make longer videos if I actually put my mind to it. But something about long form videos is kind of scaring me off. And yeah, I'm definitely using streams as a way to get back into the habit, as well as building new ones. I think I've stated this very early in my streams when we were layouting the spider cave back here. I think, yeah, I was I remember this so vividly. I was placing walls right around here. This exact wall I've been placing while I said this. I said, if you struggle with getting to work and working on your projects, go get a schedule and keep to that schedule. Make it something fun. In my case, it was streaming. For other people, it might just be reminding themselves that it is time. And of course, my wording now is different because I've learned a lot of stuff, but definitely keeping a schedule is important, and streaming is what I'm trying to do, even if like this whole building a community part doesn't work out in the end. Even if I keep streaming for 2 years with no success whatsoever. At least now I have a schedule that I can keep to, that I can use to build projects and to make progress on my goals. Because my goals don't really rely on other people. My goal is telling stories. And telling stories is something that I can do on my own. Of course, you need people who are willing to listen. But that is something that is definitely on a whole different level of having people who are actively here watching, stream, and such things. Like I can put out a full finished project, and if someone finds it, they can enjoy it. And that's it. Streams are very much not that. Streams are one time only. After that, of course, there's still the VOD, but that's different. I don't even know what my point is right now, but I'm sure you get it. Like streaming is definitely it helps me get into the schedule, into the workflow. And maybe once I actually get used to it, having these 3 times every week where I work on projects and make progress on whatever it is that I want to make, then I could at some point even use that to work on different projects that don't require like actual people being there in the moment. Like I like to write books, though I am most of the times too lazy to actually start writing. And maybe if I at some point, if I am in this work mindset because it's the time again, if I then say, okay, today, you know what? Today is not a Minecraft day. Today is a writing day. Then at least I am still working on projects. I'm still making progress on my goals. And that is like, I think, my end goal. Of course, if I would be able to write books on stream with people watching and giving feedback as I write, of course, that would be probably exhausting, but it would also be very fun, I believe. Has anyone ever written a book on stream? I don't even know. This is probably like I would I would need to make a new stream day for that, because that is something that most people would probably consider to be very boring to watch. Um, but then again, it is definitely a possibility, and it is kind of out there, something that I could be doing. If it helps me finish my projects, if it helps me make progress on my goals, then it doesn't really matter how I do it, as long as I do it in the first place. And that is like the message that I would like to give to everyone. Like how you are doing something doesn't matter as long as you are doing it. Um, well, improvising that message might be bad. I might need a script for this, but I'm sure you get like the general idea, right? It's uh, it's about getting into the mindset of working and then not really caring too much about the rest. It also always depends on what you are doing. Of course, I am working for myself. I write stories for myself, and I would like to inspire other people and make other people feel emotions through what I write. But most of my things that I do are pure passion projects that I want to do because I want to do them. And well, not most of them, all of my projects. I don't think I have a single project that I do because of someone else. And yeah, I mean, it always depends on the person, but for me personally, this is what works. This is how I can make progress, and maybe some of you can take that idea and apply it to whatever you're trying to do. And with that, it is getting late. If I keep going any longer, I might not be able to render the stream today. Um, and that is why I am going to end stream right here. Next stream is going to be on Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. Central European Time. If you want to know when that is in your time zone, please feel free to look at my schedule tab here on Twitch. Um, Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you got my point, even though it was kind of scattered across the stream with weird ways of saying it. You get what I mean. I'm getting tired or whatever. Uh, yeah. Thanks for sticking around, and I will hopefully see you next time. Have a nice day. Bye.